Tennessee Titans Weekly, we carry the rock. But being the best podcast with Hawk and Jock. We cover the Titans early in the morning or later. With everything you need, spitting facts, no paper. From the Music City, born and raised, we reppin'. The city and the state of Tennessee, we steppin'. Our fans enjoy, they say they'll enlighten us. Let's go Titans fans and tighten up. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We're here to be the best and never last. Hawk and Jock, what's the plot? To make the Super Bowl, or can we win or not? Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We give you news and perspectives and do it fast. When you see our shows, tell us what's up. Let's get this win and go home and tighten.
Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques.
Hawk.
What's up, folks? What is going on? What is happening, everybody? We here, man. We are here. Me and that boy, the King Jacques, man, in the building, man. The King himself, right over here next to me, bro.
Yes,
we here, Jacques.
We are, man. Welcome. We ain't done one of these in a while, so it's good to kind of get back and connect with the family. You know what I mean? It's like we've been gone for a while, now we're coming back, so hey, it's good to be back, man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And for those who do follow us on YouTube, you can follow us on Bleacher Report, Apple, Spotify. We're everywhere, y'all. So check us out. We're on all platforms. We're around here for sure.
Yes, sir. We are, man.
Who do we got? All right. What up, James? JR in the building. Rogers with a Z at the end. You know what I'm talking about? What's up? Toya P. What's happening? What is good? What's up, y'all? JB's in the building. I think you're on mute, Jacques.
Yeah, my mic.
Okay. All right. JB's, what's good, y'all? What's happening? Titan South, what up? What's happening?
Yes,
Rough
sir.
few days. Okay, man. We hope you're all right, Titan South, man.
Yeah, Titan South, man. I hope everything good, brother.
Yep.
Max Titan 7, what up with you?
Max T in the building. What's up? What's good?
Yes, sir. They coming
sir.
in, bro. They coming in.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and get into it, Hawk.
Yes, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen. We want to say again, thank you all for watching us here live, man. And so we have to talk about Cam Ward. And, looking at, what we have heard and what we have seen over the last several days, several weeks as well, even in, some of the meetings that have taken place and those things, Cam Ward's stock is rising. And, looking at overall, as far as what people are saying based upon, trades that could happen and those things or whatever, we're continuing to see mock drafts left and right. Cam Ward, 1, Cam Ward, right? So, Jacques, I think right now the news is out on Cam Ward, man. So we want to take a time on this show today, man. We're going to talk a lot about the draft, Cam Ward, things that's taking place, and we're going to do our live chop up. But within that as well, too, man, we're going to take some comments as well, man. This is going to be an open dialogue show for us today, man. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk all Titans today, and we're going to lead with Cam Ward for sure.
Yes, sir.
So, Jacques, speaking of Cam Ward and things you've heard so far from Brian Callahan, right? Talk to us, brother. What's your initial thoughts, man? You spoke to me yesterday about a lot of stuff, bro. That was some fire, bro. Hey, bro, give him some of that brimstone.
Absolutely. So they're right now. The owners meeting is happening. I think as we speak. I think it's finished up today with a couple of rule changes, couple of everything, whatnot. And everybody, the Titans have the number 1 pick. Everybody wants to know what y'all doing. Are y'all picking Cam Ward or what are y'all doing, right? And so certain questions come out with certain specific things. And Brian Callahan and I think it was Mike Berganzi was there as well, with a slew of other little Titans representations as well. And certain questions and several questions have come up about Cam Ward, right? What do you like about him? Are we going to pick him? All that good old stuff that we have, right? And so, right now they're playing hide the potato. Okay, they're doing a very good job at hiding the potato, dog. Very good job. And they're not giving up the house, man. And you can tell they like him. They like some of the attributes that he has. Mike Berganzi talked about it. I forgot. I think her name is Kayla Anderson. Oh no, she's a representative for ESPN. They asked, "Hey, what do you know personally about Cam Ward?" And in certain things, when you spend a lot of time with somebody, you should know this much. He's like, "Man, I know Cam Ward loves the golf. He's a good basketball player." Da da da. Like, how do you know these things if you're not going to pick him at number one, right? So there is things that came out about Shedeur Sanders' pro day, which is coming up. But the Titans brass, I heard Callahan is not going, and I heard Mike Berganzi is not going either. They said they've seen enough or whatnot of those two, which is Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. But what you're hearing, man, in the streets, man, is the Titans are keeping their mouth shut. They're saying, "Hey, this is the quote. We won't have a consensus or a true, clear pick until 2 weeks from today." So they're saying in 2 weeks, they should know who they're going to pick number one. Now, I call BS because you got to say that. And if you come out and say, "Hey, we're picking Cam Ward at number one right now," the NFL might be mad at you because it's anticipation. You want to build up to it. You want to make sure it's a surprise. I think it's only, I think I mentioned this, Hawk. There's only two teams that's done that before. I think it was the Colts with Andrew Luck, and I think you mentioned the Jags with Trevor Lawrence. They already knew who they were going to get right when they were going to do it. So right now they're just doing their preliminaries. And then a couple of things came out, shout out to Titan South, about Will Levis and linebacker core. But specifically Cam Ward, man, they like what they see with him. They like certain attributes. They like that he knows the offense, right? He also said, and I quote, "I like that he's a 4 to 5 year starter and he's been in 3 systems and he picks up those systems fairly quickly. And also he's been successful in those systems." So right now, if y'all not picking Cam Ward, y'all doing a hell of a job selling this, because that sounds like, man, y'all really done your homework on Cam Ward. So that's what I've been hearing. Of course, a lot of other things came out we can get into later about the linebackers, what we doing there. The status update on Traylon Burks and Nicholas Petit-Frere and what's his name? A cornerback that was hurt last year, which they say he should be ready for training camp. L'Jarius Sneed, Traylon Burks not so much, so he's not going to be ready. But from a Cam Ward perspective, man, if they line, they flying, dog. What's your thoughts, man? Like, what do you think, Hawk? Do you think the consensus is that we're picking them? Or do you think it's a sale job, man? What you think?
So I think it's both, Jacques. I do. I think it's both. I think what Berganzi and them are doing right now, what they're doing right now, they are at the negotiations table, right? They're saying basically, we want Cam Ward, period, right? We need a quarterback. We're in a bad situation when it comes to quarterback. And before I say something as well, man, who else we got in the comment section, by the way?
Man, everybody flooded in here, bro. Hold on.
What's up, y'all?
Let me call them out, dog. Let's see. We got Max Titan 7. What's up, brother? Got Daryl, and look at D.
What up, D? In the building.
D in Paris. D, what you doing in Paris, man?
Chris Martin, what's happening?
Chris, what up, brother? Titan South, what up, bro? Pig Weekly, what up, brother? What up, Jack the Ripper? NJ, hey, you right, man. What we going on? 5 years? 5 years now?
Yeah, man.
5 years. Dude. Yeah, time is flying, dog. Let me see. Jay Burke's in the building. What's happening, bro?
Sale job. Sale job. Right. So I think it's a little bit of both, Jacques. I really think they know what they have, you know, and for them not to see Shedeur, I think I think that's a move too, dude. I do, because I think it's done on purpose to let people know we really like Cam Ward, right? So we're gonna hold him up here since that's the consensus. So it's a ploy to say we're not entertaining anybody but Cam Ward. I don't care who it is. You could have Lawrence Taylor in this draft. We're gonna have Cam Ward right here for any team that really wants a quarterback. So they're putting all of their energy to Cam Ward, almost as if like that's like the golden nugget that's in this whole thing, right? So I think they want Cam Ward, but I think they are open to deals. And I get it. I understand that. It's like, if you're gonna sell us something, what you talking about? Business is business, right? Business is business. But I would tell you this. So I went on my investment account, my money market account, and I love to do stocks and stuff like that, right? So I looked at this new stock code today, dog. It was called CMW, right? And I'm like, What is CMW? Now, there was an old rap group back in the 80s, Compton's Most Wanted, you know what I'm saying? With MC8 and them dudes or whatever. So I didn't know what CMW stood for. So I Googled CMW. For those that don't know, I Googled the stock code. It's Cam Ward, bro. It's Cam Ward, bro. CMW, bro. Buy. If you have that name in your stock code, buy Cam Ward today. Don't trade, don't sell, buy. All right, we got a super chat. What we got?
Yes, he says 499 N and J Short says, family, how we doing? I'm about to graduate college. That's how long it's been. Tighten up, and I want hey, first of all, congratulations, brother, for you graduating. That's a big accomplishment and achievement, man. So appreciate you. And also thank you for watching the show that long, man. That's insane. So we really appreciate that, Hawk. Go ahead, man. Hook them up.
Ian J Shorts. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Ooh.
Ian J Shorts in the building early. Hey, bro, congratulations, man. Yep. Awesome, dude. Awesome. So he says he wants Shedeur Sanders. Okay, so this is what I'd say. To get Shedeur, you wouldn't have to pick him number one, I don't think. You had to trade down, right? So this is how I would say I would take Shedeur Sanders in this pick. Now, I'm still got my money on Cam Ward in the stock exchange right now, right? I just bought about 10 shares of Cam Ward stock just this morning, right? But I will say this.
Jake Young.
The only way that I would get Shedeur. Okay, Jake Young, what's up? What's happening? One thing I would say is, man, we better have some trade value. Like what I'm saying is, if we get Shedeur Sanders, we need to get, if we trade the first pick to get Shedeur Sanders, whoever's offering those trades, we need several first-round picks, right? We need this year's and next year's first-round pick. We need a third-round pick this year, and even maybe your second this year. So it's like, if we gonna talk, let's talk. Shout out to my boy Brett Mav. He's like, I'm listening. So I'm not against listening. I'm not sitting there saying it's Cam Ward or bust. I'm done. I am saying I'm listening, but Cam Ward is my guy. But you better come up with something, right? Because to have players on your team as a value, that would be huge. And you could draft Shedeur Sanders. I'd entertain that, Jock.
Right.
I would. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
like that. Now, for real, though.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Titan South. He said, I pray that it's Cam Ward. Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention, Weekly Family, me and Hawk have been talking about this, specifically quarterback, since October. We've also been talking about Cam Ward since October.
October 31st to be exact. Absolutely.
What, Halloween? Was that Halloween?
Yep, Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Y'all just go check the archives. It's out there.
Yep. So we've been chopping it up about this for a minute. So I know a lot of people were, again, I think at the time the consensus was Shedeur. And with that being Shedeur, you're like, oh, wow, okay, cool. But it's just something about Cam that's different, man, that you see that pops out at you at the screen. And I agree, Hawk. I need the house. If I'm gonna give up everything, I need the house in order for it to get your guy, right?
Yep.
So I mean, that's a hell of a scenario that you said. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I would entertain that. I would if I know I could draft Shedeur Sanders, right? If I knew that, right? Now, if they don't, so John, let me ask you that question, bro. For those in the comment section as well, too. Say if we don't draft Cam Ward, say if we don't draft Shedeur Sanders,
okay.
Say with the first pick, we draft us. I've seen a mixed bag of folks saying this, and I want people in the comment to let us know what you think. If we draft Abdul Carter, or if we draft Travis Hunter, first pick overall, from a 1 to 10 on a scale, how pissed off would you be? 1 to 10, and then those in the comment, 10 being the hottest, like you flaming hot, like you eating hot Cheetos and drinking hot coffee at the same time. It does nothing to you because you're that pissed off. 1, hey, I'm good. I would want an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter number 1 overall. How hot would you be, bro?
I'd be probably about a 8, and I'm just giving that an 8 because of Travis Hunter. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. But the thing is, you don't need those at value, right? The thing about Abdul Carter that scares me is his injuries, right? Yep. A lot of people are talking about it, but it's like they're sweeping it under the rug as well. He has a shoulder, and I think something's wrong with his knee. So what happens in that instance, you draft him, you're telling me he's not playing, he's not going to be available for training camp. He's going to have surgery by the time training camp comes around. And then you're going to wait another maybe a couple of games for him to get up to speed, and then you hoping that he comes back the same with a position that he just started playing. He hasn't been hands in the dirt. Was he hands in the dirt or yeah, he was hands in the dirt. He hasn't been hands in the dirt. This is his first year doing it. Yeah, he's good, but when I hear a generational talent, this is the Titans' fault. When you say you're looking for a generational talent, he needs to have about 12 to 13, 14 sacks this season in order for you to make that up. Travis Hunter, I'm not so worried about him. If Will Levis would have panned out, we were picking number 2, number 3, and we got a hold of a Travis Hunter, we'd be straight, right? But he's not a need. He's not a need. We don't need him at corner, right? Which they already said, the Titans brass said, I'll primarily play him at corner, not receiver, right? So he's not opposed to playing both sides, but I'm gonna tell you again, if it happened, it's a typical Titan thing to do. This is why the league don't trust us. This is why nobody trusts the Titans. Right. And then at that point, it'd be like, okay, I'm pissed off, not surprised. Just get ready for a long roller coaster ride, and there's no guarantee that you'll get the number 1 spot again unless you do a blatant tank job to try to go get an Arch Manning who he might not even come out next year. So you're rolling the dice big time when you're doing something like that. I mean, what you think? How would you feel, man? Would you be pissed off number 10 or 1?
Yeah, I would be pissed off. I would be initially probably about a 9. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't draft that because it's such a need or whatever, I would be at a 9. The only reason I'm giving the 1 where it's not a 10 is they just know like Cam Ward is good, but we feel somebody's better. And eventually that does happen. Then that number Richter scale will go down. But initially, if we drafted somebody else, not a quarterback, so I'm like, okay, so you all think Will Levis is going to be the quarterback. Oh, that's what you – so, okay, we're about to have another losing season, and we're not trajecting ourselves to do anything in the near future, right? So I'm going to say I'm going to be at a 9. You know what I'm saying? I'd be at a 9 if we did not draft a quarterback, whether it be Shedeur or Cam Ward. I'd be at a 9. I'd be pissed off because this is an ample opportunity for you to have the number 1 pick in the draft. Go ahead and get a quarterback. You need one. And – you know, the whole league now, everyone in the league sees this now. People in the media sees this now. It took everybody a while. I don't know why. As you mentioned earlier, we said in October, hey, the question we asked, we knew at that point, Jacques was 2 weeks ahead of me with Will Levis, okay? I want to give Will Levis a few more weeks just to, make sure like we done invested a 3rd-round pick in this guy. I want to give him a fair shot. And at that point, was like, nope, we've seen enough. We're done. We're done. Quarterback time. That's what we need for next year. And Cam and Shedeur was still in the middle of the season. And was like, hey, man, it's a no-brainer, bro. We need a quarterback, draft one of these guys. And in particular, we said Cam Ward. So that's been the emotion the entire time. That's been the thought. So I'd be at a 9, man. I'd be at a 9. Because I haven't changed. You haven't changed our tune on position, really player either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Haven't flip-flopped at all. And we always say we can, right? Our mind can change, right? You evaluate the team the next day and kind of seeing what's out there, see who gets this, who trades this. Like, maybe it'd be best for us to get a defensive end, right? But no,
exactly.
Man. Yep.
Exactly. So Titans have, I want to address this because it ties in. He says, do y'all think Will Levis will be a starter regardless? So Cam can watch and learn, or do you think they trade Will Levis? What's your initial thoughts on, do you think, one, he'll be a starter, and then 2, do you think the rumor is they shot down the trade rumor? Yeah. But, things can change all the time.
That's right. I would say before we signed, what's the quarterback we just signed?
Boyle.
Doyle, right.
Doyle,
right. Yeah. Right. He's actually Jack Doyle's brother, by the way. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool.
So before that, I would have said we would have kept Will Levis, and Will Levis would start the season, even if we drafted Cam Ward, at least early, or Shedeur early. Because Will Levis has been here. He knows the system. He's an NFL quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. He'll be in the league probably 10 years as QB2 somewhere. He will play at some point. But I don't see him right now being a franchise quarterback. So I think early he'll start early. Now, since we have 3 quarterbacks, if we drafted a quarterback, I could see us trading Will Levis. I see Will Levis, even despite what they're saying, right now, man, they are throwing. Right now, they're just throwing water and ice right now, bro. It's just doing something right now. They're just talking to kind of get through. But I do think especially if our mindset is to draft Cam Ward or draft Shedeur Sanders, we're trading Will Levis. That's just that's what I think, man. So that's my thought. What about you, Jacques?
It's giving Will a chance to. It's like they did Malik last year. We're gonna give you a chance to prove what you can do. We got two quarterbacks that are they're subpar, so you should at least try to beat them out. And if he balls out a little bit, it's trade value. Now the thing is, with his trade value, a team has to want to trade for him, right?
Right, facts.
That's the thing. And has he done enough for a team to take a chance on him? Be like, hey, yeah, I'll trade for him. My concern, no, my not even a concern. I just don't think he's done enough to say, hey. So I think once you got this preseason, hey, this gives him enough time to kind of quote unquote prove himself. Training camp, same thing, right? Now, we played that Pat the Barber. I'll get to that comment anyway because I got something for that about Malik. But with Will, I just think, and Titan South said, what if he balls out and we drafted Cam for no reason? No, because if Titan South, if he would have balled out, he would have did it last year, right? One, he would have did it last year. Two, he would have came in and picked the offense. I don't use that as an excuse for him because of the simple fact you got rookies like Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels that come in the league into a newer offense, newer speed, everything, and they're able to ball out. Because I thought that I would have that same thought process, like, oh, this is a new offense, da-da-da-da. But if you're a rookie that can come in and you can pick it up just like that, and you can get it just like that, then that tells me you're not a franchise quarterback. You are a quarterback that needs time to develop. You need to sit down. So Will Levis needs to sit down. He needs to just relax. He might need a change of scenery, but he's going to be a journeyman. He's just – I know a lot of people get on board with this, but he's just a journeyman. So, yeah, if he balls out, good for him. But you should have did that even when you had your first chance to do it even last year and then the year before a little bit. So, and two, when it comes to quarterbacks reading. Now, hold on. Wait a Jay. Now, if we would have kept Malik – the problem is you would have won maybe 2 to 3 more games and we wouldn't have had that number 1 pick.
Yep.
So might want to thank Will Levis for giving us that number 1 pick.
Yeah, being a sacrificial lamb for the Titans, right?
Yeah. If
Malik would have.
Go ahead.
Malik probably would have won 2 more games.
Yeah. Because I look at the Bears game. If Malik was going off like he was going off when he played us and the Colts, and
that's right,
he would have had a shot. Like it just is what it is, and we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now, right?
That's
so,
right.
And the thing is, Titan South, I'll be honest with you. Do I think he have it in him? Maybe, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't. And if he goes to places like that, he'll be more than just he'll just be a backup, right? So let's see. Tannehill. Do you think Tannehill would have won? Yeah, I think Tannehill probably would have won
at least 2 more games.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how bad. Let's not act like Will Levis didn't have a good season because he had a terrible season. He had 1 or 2 really good games. The rest he played poor and made some of the worst decisions in the NFL. We won 3 football games, ladies and gentlemen. So everyone is subject to be looked at when you've only won 3 games. You know what I'm saying? So Will Levis probably was a good 65% to 70% of those losses. I had to put on Will Levis. If I put it on a pie graph, special teams is a part of it for sure. The inconsistencies of the receivers, play calling, offensive line might be number 2. Special teams number 3. But I'm saying Will Levis is probably the biggest part of the pie as to why we only won 3 football games last year.
Pat says Malik showed us Kelly actually can coach up a quarterback. That looks bad for Will Levis because and I agree with that. I do. I said it when preseason happened. The better quarterback, in my opinion, was Malik in preseason.
He was.
And I know a lot of people didn't want to admit that because you're on this high. A lot of people has already a stigma about him. People don't like him. But at the end of the day, Malik was the better quarterback, and it got him traded to the Green Bay Packers, where he won more games he did win more games than Will Levis this year. So at the end of the day, the consensus is the better quarterback went to the better team. They went to the playoffs. He had a little bit more success. We got the short end of the stick. Now we live and learn. Now you can rectify it. You can rectify it by doing the right thing this time, right? By drafting Cam or Shedeur. I mean, again, It just is what it is. So
we need a quarterback, folks.
we do.
Because when there's quarterbacks that's been in the league, you look at Doyle. He's got a contract right now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad the quarterbacks are in this league. And the fact now you can have 3 quarterbacks, that makes it more. So it's like people are dying to get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When you have people like Jalen Monroe and you even have Jackson Dart that are listed as first-round picks, it's because it's a need. Right. It's a need. And so, and it's more like if we can just get a quarterback, a young quarterback who's unproven, but they got certain type of skills, we can work with them. And that's why I say with Callahan, whoever you bring in, you and the quarterback coach, make it work.
Make it work. It's your job.
Make it work. You want to be here. And I tell you this, Doc, historically, a lot of times coaches who draft a quarterback number 1 from a season being a bad season the previous year, going into the next season, if progress doesn't happen soon enough, that coach gets fired within the season. That does happen regularly. So if I'm Brian Callahan, as soon as I draft Cam Ward, hey, bro, let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's chop it. Let's go.
Now, let me ask you this. Would you start him day 1?
It depends on who's here. If it's okay, it's based on camp. So I'm saying initially probably not. I'm going to say Will Levis should be the starter, at least starting up front. But it depends on what they do at camp. If Will Levis plays like doo-doo, then Cam Ward should be. So it's on him. It's on Cam Ward. How well will he? If he's not ready, absolutely not. If Will Levis is playing better than he is in the preseason and in practice, he's got a little step ahead of him. Don't start him yet. Don't throw him out there in the fire because one, we got an unproven offensive line group. So we got to see how they do next year, right? As a new unit, see how they do. Because I don't want to put him out there. He's out there getting killed out there, right? And he's not ready. That's how you hurt the confidence of a young quarterback. So I'd say generally no, but he will eventually. Probably game 5. He will probably. So what about you? You start him game 1?
I am, because Bo Nix did it. Jaden Daniels did it. I am. To me, I believe Cam Ward is something we haven't seen in Tennessee. Because Marcus started, and you see how it benefited him. These younger quarterbacks need to start early, man, and to learn, to get the reps in, to get the mental games down, to have the game slow down for him, to get the preparation down. And Cam he needs to learn the speed of the game, and he also needs to get to the point where these days of this is a typical Titans. This is the Titans mindset. This is the fan base mindset of we want to wait. Well, you got to pull that trigger. You have to pull that trigger eventually, right? This is what it is. Okay, we've already seen what Will Levis can do. Yeah, that's cool. But I drafted you number 1 overall, dog. You think you're gonna sit down and not do nothing? Now, if I drafted you number 7, then maybe I can consider that. Be like, yeah, go ahead and sit down. But number 1, when I play you number 1, nah, bro. Get out there. Get out there and do what you got to do. Understand the game. The offensive line is improving, but we also what you gonna do? Sit them in preseason where the offensive line is not proven and you get killed. So it's football, dog. You're gonna have to get out there. You're gonna have to learn from your mistakes. You're gonna have to go through your progressions. You have to get chemistry with your new receivers because these are new receivers. And do I doubt Cam? No, because Cam has done it 3 times in his career. At what was it? 2-year college? What was the college hawk? I always forget.
Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word at Washington State and Miami. So he's different. It's like, and even with Shadour's another one that I can kind of plug in, play day 1. And I think that's what the Titans are looking for. Can I plug you in day 1? And I know Cam has helped himself when he says, hey, I know your offense. I've been paying attention to your offense. I know that you run this. I know you run that style. I know you run these route combinations. So when it comes down to it, coach, put me in. And if you see him in training camp and he's throwing dots on L'Jarius Sneed, his ass need to be out there day 1. There's no excuses or nothing. Get out there and do your thing, because if we have a situation where, like, we have a Bryce Young situation where my apologies, Bryce. I know you probably might not watch this, but I doubted you, bro. I did. But then you see as his continues, he got benched. Yeah, he did. But
right.
Then that
was gonna be my point too. He got benched.
But that kicked his confidence in.
Right.
But then he also got the exact reps that he needed. Because, okay, yeah, I got benched. Yeah, but at least I was out there learning. And I'm like, okay, now I got enough tape to be like, oh, yeah, I got benched. But at least I know I got to start these first 6-7 games. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, now, boom, let me get back in there. And now it's starting to slow down and make sense. So if we wasn't picking number 1, I'm cool. But we picking number one, dog. We don't pick you to sit down and just look at tablet all day. Nah, we don't do that. Mm-mm. So that's my thoughts on it, dog.
All right. Cool. All right. So Pat the Barber said if he kills it in the preseason like Daniels, then day one, of course, right. And I guess that's my point too. The words that I'm having in there is the if factor, the ifs, right? The ifs. So it's if Cam Ward balls out, it's on him, right? Yep. If he's clearly better and he's ready, then you put him out there. So that's kind of what my answer is more like, just where is he at that point in time? You know what I mean? But we'll see. He will eventually, as a rookie, he will be the starting quarterback rookie season. Week 2, week 4, week 1. It depends.
And so Titan South, I want to get to this comment. Brother, I was talking to my pops about this when this exact thing happened. And I know people was excited and everything, but you're exactly right. He says Levis had the 4-touchdown debut because of the Falcons defense. Didn't expect the rookie to go deep, that they stacked the box because they thought we were going to run basically Henry, right? And that's when we did have Derrick Henry. That's facts. And that messes up your psyche. It messes up your mindset. And let's cut this right quick. Titan South with the $2 super chat. He says Levis played 21 games and he only had 5 good ones.
Right. Absolutely. Titan South. Oh, Titan South in the building. That's facts. But, everyone's different, right? Just because that's him, somebody else could have play 21 games, have 10 good games. It really depends, right? It just depends. We will know once they put the jersey on, like Warren Sapp said. You know so much, put your jersey on. Remember he said that? You know it all, put a jersey on. So once they put the jersey on, he got on the field. And, so here's a question I want to ask for everybody as well, too. Did we give Will Levis a fair enough shot? Did we give him a fair enough shot? Yep. What about you? What do you think, Jacques?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. Yep, we did.
Gotcha.
We did. We surrounded him with, minus the right tackle position, which you could have fixed that. Yes, he had plenty of ample time. This league don't wait for you anymore, man. This is not the year of old. Yes, he got a fair enough shot to show what he needed to do. He had a full season to prove himself. So yes, he got a fair shot.
Absolutely.
What you think?
Absolutely, 100%. When we had that show in October, bro, at that moment, I said, "Yep, that was enough. That's it. We gave him enough opportunities to know what he was about." And even when the season started, I didn't even think like, "Oh, Will is about to go ball out." And as long as we saw progress, we said that all season.
We did.
And we would see progress, and then a real downward slope. Then he'll go like this, and then and then pick up just a little bit. Then like his ups was not matching his downs. His downs were way down to the freaking ground. His ups were just to seed level on the grass, right? He was not in sky level at all. You know what I'm saying? So it came to a point like, look, man, this season's over. He ain't it. Not as a franchise quarterback. Nah, man, we gotta move forward. So yeah, we gave him enough opportunity. Last year was enough, I felt.
Now, what you hope, and I will say this, what you hope is he at least picks it up a little bit if you want to keep him as a backup. If you want to keep him as a backup and you say, okay, hey, Callahan's system, in case something happens to Cam or whoever, go ahead and plug him in there because,
that's right.
Boom. Now, I'm going to tell you, this would have solidified me if we would have went out and got a free agent like Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Aaron Rodgers. That would have told me we probably were going to go in a different direction.
Facts.
But this is telling me that, hey, something is different, right?
Yep, that's right.
And if you haven't watched his tape, if you haven't watched Cam's tape, like me and Hawker picked it apart, looked it up and down, throwing it against the wall, Cam reads defenses very well. And you're correct. He reads, he scans the field, he does stuff. And I know people harp on this crop of quarterbacks class. One thing I can say about them, like the top 3, Dart, Shedeur, and Cam, they do go through their progressions. That's one thing I did like about Dart too. I know I harp on him and I go hard on him, but one thing he does go through his progressions from time to time. Of course, he's not consistent with it, but it's college, right? College, you're still learning how to go through everything. So,
right.
Let me see. Right. Yeah, Jay Burris. And again, that's what you hope. You hope to say, okay, hey.
Yeah, he will be a very good backup. For any team.
You
know what I'm saying?
You know how I would use him? I would actually try to transition him like Taysom Hill. Because he has the body type and he's tough, Hawk said, "Nah, I'm trying to help you, bro."
Nah. I mean, keep going, keep cooking. I'm just saying, I feel that's what you feel, I guess,
Yeah. But
I've seen enough of Will Levis as far as him like running the ball. All he really tries to do is run over people. You know what I'm saying? He's not really fluid. He can mess around and get himself injured. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I get your point. I do.
Yeah.
But they might set that man up for the kill, man.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, that's me.
Like I get nervous.
Hey,
like,
that's the coach in me. Go out there. And
yeah.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
They get smacked.
If you put Will Levis a linebacker, you might got something. You know what I'm saying? Because he up here, when people say he can't read defenses, that is true. But I think sometimes, man, it's not even that. It's just mentally with him. He just spazzes out. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, right?
So to your point, Callahan said what he looks for. The first thing he said about looking for in a quarterback that he's looking for is the nervous system.
Yep.
And when he said that was a shot towards Will Levis.
It was.
That was like you said. Once he gets in panic mode, he's like, oh my God. Even when he had a clean pocket.
Right, exactly.
When he had to think. When he has to think, it's almost like, oh snap, I got a clean pocket and I can actually go. And if you pay attention, if you're in SEC country, I know a lot of people don't watch a lot of UK games, but if you're a Kentucky Wildcats fan, you've seen him play. And again, he was okay, right? But and that's the difference between him and Cam. And because I've seen some people compare him and Cam, and I'm like, well, the difference is Cam is highly successful in college. Will Levis was just okay in college.
Right, facts.
It just is what it is, right?
That's right.
So again, when I just think of him, his size, I mean, he's got good size, but he just needs to be put in a box. He needs to calm his mind down. And if you want to continue to play quarterback, you get with the right resources, they can teach you, right? And then hopefully you can kind of resurrect your career and go be a backup and win a couple of games. But he'll be in the league for a while. He will be. He will because the need is there and he's got enough talent for sure. Right.
Well, we'll go over the next few minutes, y'all. We'll go over. We've had a semi-live chop up, man. We'll go live chop up, y'all. As you all know, man, listen, welcome to the live chop up. This is your opportunity, man, to throw us some questions here at the dinner table, man. We got the ingredients on the table. Chop up the ingredients. Ask your questions. We're gonna fire off as many of those questions and answer them as quickly as we can, man.
Yep. All right. I want to kick us off. So when you putting together your ideal quarterback, you have this prototype stuff started with Josh Allen, in my opinion, right? We've always had the big quarterback or whatnot, but Josh Allen is different. He's almost got that dual threat-ish type style. He's big. He's got the big arm. He can throw 100 yards, all this crap, right? But then you have the quarterbacks that don't have strong arms like Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow don't have a strong arm. Right. Tom Brady didn't have a strong arm. Peyton Manning didn't have a strong arm, but they're accurate and they're smart. Would you rather take a accurate, smart quarterback that doesn't have a powerful arm, or would you rather take a prototype guard that's 6'6", that has like a Justin Herbert arm, speed of Josh Allen, and the arm strength of Josh Allen? Which quarterback would you prefer if you're building a quarterback, or if you had to draft a quarterback? And y'all can answer that question in the chat too.
Yeah, I think I think to me it's of course an accurate quarterback. It's a whole lot of big strong arm quarterbacks, but if they're not accurate, then they're not going to win any football games. That's why a lot of quarterbacks end up failing because of that. Like you think of like Jamarcus Russell, right? It's a lot of big quarterbacks that were like that. I can't say, okay, if I say Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen's accurate and he's got a strong arm. You know what I'm saying? But I could say like Joe Burrow might not have the strongest arm, but his accuracy is incredible, better than say Josh Allen's accuracy, right? So to have both would be great, but of course, I would prefer an accurate, smarter quarterback than like a big gunslinger. And I think over the last several years, I haven't really seen that as much as we've had in the past with quarterbacks, right? Like even last year's quarterbacks. I mean, the one quarterback was Anthony Richardson, right? He's as inaccurate as you can get, right? Inaccurate. You can't be as inaccurate as Anthony Richardson, but nor can you be from a quarterback standpoint. The size of Anthony Richardson, his arm strength is ridiculous, right? So, it's the quarterbacks that's been successful is those quarterbacks who just don't rely on their size and strength of arm. And like you mentioned, Josh Allen, Dante Culpepper's, a lot of big, strong quarterbacks. It's like, wow, you see him on the field before you put the pads on, like, man, this guy here. And even in college, it's not like these guys came off the street. They had good college tape too, right? So, but that they are becoming far between, as far as like the better quarterbacks in the league. You know what I mean? Because Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the strongest arm. You know what I'm saying? Joe Montana didn't have the strongest arm. You know what I mean? So you said Tom Brady and them guys. So what about you, Jacques?
Yeah, it's because the reason why I brought this question up was the first thing you hear, even coming out of college, when you hear about Josh Allen, what's his size, right? And when you hear the size matter, and it's football. At the end of the day, man, when recruits, when scouts, anybody see a kid coming out of high school, the first thing you're gonna look at is his size, right? Which it should be the opposite, because if you're coaching, you're like, man, let me cut the tape on. But a recruit, a scout gonna be like, damn, that boy 6'6" in the 8th grade. You're like, what's going on, right? He might not have the best technique, he might not have, but his size is always gonna pop out. And so what's happened, like you said, you said the perfect example was Anthony Richardson. When you got AR, who barely started, he only started with 11 games at Florida. Yeah. Off potential alone, the Colts' whole leadership should have got fired, right? Because of the simple fact that you passed up on a couple of potential quarterbacks that could have helped y'all out. Now you're in a situation. So when I look at size to me, I just like, whatever. Like, how are you up here, right? And I think they did that same mistake with Will Levis because his arm strength is amazing, right? Yep. He can throw it out the stadium. But the Joker can't really read defenses. His accuracy is up and down. It's like, hey, man, what are we doing, right? That's right. So it's like you got a kid that just can't get it right now. You like, but every little thing they do, you got to encourage them. So I would take a accurate, smart quarterback over anything because that's been proven in the past to win you a Super Bowl, right? Or at least get you to it. You know what I mean? So,
Agreed. And and Will Levis to me is an example of where the guard has changed because when the season started in college, right before his season in his last year at Kentucky, people had Will Levis as the number one pick in the draft based on that alone. Where was he drafted? He was in the third round. He was a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? So he had the size and everything, but again, the NFL, everything is over time. It's like, okay, we'll try this. It's a trend. There's always a trend. There were years nobody wanted running backs, right? Yep. Then we went to the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley running a fool, Derrick Henry running a fool, right? 2 years ago, I won't need no running back. And then, so now look at Ashton Jenkins, look at these running backs that might be first round. There's always a trend until it falls off, right? So there was a trend for big, strong arm quarterbacks. Like we talk about like Josh Allen, those guys or whatever. So, and Justin Herbert. And so it's like, okay, that's good. That's what we need now. But then you draft those guys that don't pan out. Okay, so then what's next? Next, right? So it's always then the next time there's a big arm, strong quarterback that's 6'7" out there, and there's 2 or 3 of them that do that and they do be successful. Teams are going to be looking for that too in 5 years. Yep.
It's a trendy league. I think you're going to start seeing the CJ Stroud type-ish quarterbacks, like the Jaden Daniels quarterbacks or the Bo Nix. Those type of quarterbacks, that's why I think, I don't know, the Titans brass is doing their homework really, really in depth. And I've really never seen them, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen the Titans brass send this many resources to look at a draft pick, right?
Yep.
They sent their own media team down there, and that really, like, my light bulb went off. I said, why are they sending the media team down there to evaluate a quarterback that we potentially might not get, right?
Yeah.
And so, and another thing I like is confidence. Even Callahan mentioned and Brinker mentioned, how can you handle the spotlight? You're the face of the franchise. How can you handle that, right? Do you have the smarts? Are you a good leader? That's another thing. Like, we haven't really had real leadership in the building.
Yeah,
we haven't had real leadership in the building, dog. Like a real confident leader. I know Derrick Henry was our face, but Derrick Henry's quiet, if that makes sense. And it's not his job to be the leader. He's a running back. You want your quarterback. So Tannehill to me was a yes man. He looked up. Anything Vrabel said, boom. Vrabel was the leader, right? But when you think of your team, you think of the leader as your quarterback. And we haven't had that in a minute. And we haven't had a vocal, confident quarterback, man. And I'm looking forward to something like that. That's why even the Shedeur thing doesn't turn me off, because I'm like, hey, least the young man has confidence, right? At least he has the spotlight. And he's been in the spotlight before, and
That's right.
plenty of times. So
That's right. Facts. That's true.
So I'll go ahead and throw y'all questions in there, man. We
Yep.
can definitely answer. He
Yep.
said, let's see. I think Cam can throw deeper than Levis. Man, Cam is boy. Whew. Let's see. Jack Ripper says people are saying Cam isn't that good, etc. I think we are lucky to be picking number one and be in a position to get Cam. Time will tell. Yeah, People, I've heard that too. Yeah.
And people gonna have their opinion. You know, it's not to say that everybody's supposed to agree with everybody, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's okay. You know, to say, okay, I don't think he's that good or whatever. And you know, I would just say too, okay, so this is a question I want to ask everybody. If you are in the comment section now, if you feel Cam Ward isn't worthy of the number one pick, why? Like, give us a reason why. Like, when people are saying that, then I kind of like, okay, that's cool. Well, give me a reason why you think that. You know, and I can't say that I've heard a reason. I haven't really heard a reason. The only thing I've ever seen of him or whatever is at times might play some hero ball sometimes, right? But I haven't heard anyone say why we shouldn't pick him one because of something as a quarterback. So y'all let me know. Like, if I miss him, I'm sitting there saying no one's a perfect player. Everyone has opportunities to improve on something. And it's because it's brought out don't mean like we shouldn't draft them, right? So I hadn't heard, you know what I'm saying, why. A valid reason at that.
Right.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let's see. Jack Rivers say he would have been 6 or 7 last year. So I
gotta answer that one.
Go ahead. Go do your thing. I'm right behind you. Go ahead.
Jack Ripper, you're correct. That's what I keep hearing too. But this is what I'll always say about this. Yeah, you can say that now because the season's over. You've had a whole full NFL season. No one knew Bo Nix was going to do this. No one thought Jake Daniels was going to be the best rookie in NFL history, okay? No one thought he would be that damn great. What he did was incredible, right? Now, so yes, it's easy to say that now after the fact. After the fact. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't hold any weight for me. It doesn't. To say he would have been, okay, say if he was. We're in a whole new year. We need a quarterback. So what? You know what I mean? There's not 6 other quarterbacks in this draft that's better than Cam Ward. He's the best quarterback in this draft. You draft the best quarterback in this draft, bro.
Yep. I echo that, man. It's like an echo chamber, man. Like, people say this, some media pundits say this. They say certain things. It's like, okay, hey, that's last year's draft. We talking about this year's draft. He didn't come out last year. If he came out last year, cool. He came out this year. We talking about now. We're not talking about last year. So let's see here. What's up, Hans Marcel? He says, I want a quarterback, but I feel like Ward would be a bust. I really want Sanders, but won't be mad about Ward. Just remember, I say this if Sanders turned out to be a star.
Okay.
So I'm not opposed to either one of them, right? So if we did, I know you said, Hawk, that you would be surprised if we did pick Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm. I would be.
But with that being said, like I said, it wouldn't shock me, right? It wouldn't shock me one bit. We're watching the draft, right?
Mm-hmm. The Tennessee Titans selects Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. You're gonna sit there and say,
I'm gonna be like, okay, because at the end of the day, we need a quarterback. So
right, it's not so much the quarter. For me, it's not so much I'm just saying the player himself. Like,
no, okay. Because it's the Titans. If this was let me see. I'm trying to think of a team that doesn't do crazy stuff. If this was the Steelers, say if I was a Steelers fan and we was up there and we were supposed to pick Cam, we picked that, I'd be like, what did we just do? But It's the Titans. The Titans have done everything under the sun to be just do anything stupid. So, and I'm not calling the Shedeur pick stupid, but you know what I mean. He'd be like, it's a shot. We got a $2 super check from Jay. What up, bro? He said, what's
Jay Burks?
Great
Jay Burks. Boom. Jay Burks in the building, a.k.a. Jay Beasley in the building. Appreciate it, Jay Burks.
All right. So he says, what's the difference between Sanders and Ward?
Ooh, good question.
All right.
Go for it, Jacques.
We had a whole show about this.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We've had several about this. We had one main show about this.
So So the difference between Sanders and Ward, I'm just going to give you a high level overview. Sanders, he's accurate as hell. He'll sit in the pocket. He'll throw that thing. He's not as mobile as Cam, and he will not turn the ball over, but he will take a sack. I like that he reads and goes through his progressions. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but his accuracy makes up for that. Not the biggest guy, but he's tough as nails. Cam Ward, on the opposite end, he's been in 3 systems, 3 different offensive systems, played with several different receivers. He has a lively arm, and what I mean by a lively arm, if you've ever seen how Jaden Daniels' arm is, it's very rubber bandish. Like he can zoom, zoom, zoom. And he has that quick release as well. But the knock on Cam is his decision making because he's an improviser. What he does is he can make the play and he can extend the play. The problem, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too, because if you don't anticipate it, you turn the ball over. So he has more turnovers than Sanders, nothing astronomical, but he has more turnovers. So you have more risk with him when it comes down to the thing. Now, he will stand in the pocket, but he's a little bit more mobile than Sanders. But his first initial thing is not to take off running. So that's the difference between them. One, you're not gonna get a lot of turnovers. He's accurate and he's tough. The other one, you got an improviser. He's willing to take a shot and a chance, and his release is a lot quicker and he has a lot more of a lively arm. That's the difference. What about you, Hawk? Go ahead.
Jacques, I really can't say that any better than that, bro. I'm being honest. So I'm trying to think of some things I could say differently, right? To get even some other context to it. Because what you said is that's exactly what I would say. So when I think of Shedeur Sanders, the positives, incredibly accurate. 74% quarterback completion percentage last year. He leads the NCAA in a career in the entire history of the NCAA when it comes to quarterback percentage, completion percentage. That's amazing, right? So the positive is his accuracy. You say he doesn't turn the ball over. I totally agree with that as well. And what I like about Shedeur too, he's a vocal leader as well too, man. Who watched Colorado before Colorado had Shedeur and Deion? Nobody, right? Who watched Jackson State before Shedeur got there? Nobody.
I had no choice, but you know. But yeah, you're right. Nobody. Man, forget nobody. Anyway,
right. I would even this past season. I go to people's houses, like we'll have like cookouts and stuff. We're watching Colorado over, Texas or Tennessee or something like that. That's crazy. So Shedeur has the it factor. Mm-hmm. Shedeur can win football. He makes programs that look like paper plates into steak plates. I think that's huge from Shedeur. I think he makes people around him better. And I think Shedeur does more with less than Cam Ward does. I think Shadeur's offensive line was terrible. It wasn't. I'm not thinking that. It's a fact. His O-line, especially the last season, was the worst in college football. His running backs were trash, and he had to do it on his own. Line played a little bit better this year. Still was bad. I think the knock with Shedeur, difference between him and Cam is, man, Shedeur takes a lot of sacks, dog. He really does, man. And at times, like, man, you got to get rid of the football. And in the NFL, you got to get rid of the ball, or it will happen. So where he was getting sacked against North Dakota State, think when it happens when he has to play the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So he's got to get the ball out of his hands and things like that. And I really think he's like, look, I'd rather get a quarterback sacked than throw an interception or just throw the ball away. I'll just take a sack like it's a running back for loss, right? But in the league, he's got to get the ball out of his hands. Now, when I think of Cam Ward, his arm is, to your point, is extremely lively. Like, there's not plays off with Cam Ward. Cam Ward really knows how to push the ball down the field. And not just that, man, Cam Ward has the ability to throw for a lot of yards. I think more than, say, Shedeur. Like, Cam could throw for 400 yards. You know what I'm saying? It'd be no problem. And Cam Ward is extremely confident as well in his abilities. And what I like about Cam as well, too, he has guys out there, running a 40 and 4.8 out there. He's making them guys get 100 catches, right? So it's like, I can just get open, I'll get you the ball because the ball's coming out. I'm not taking quarterback sacks like Shedeur. I'm getting the ball out. I'm getting it out of my hands. And I think that's what's a humongous difference between, say, him and Shedeur. And I think Cam is accurate, not as much as Shedeur, but he's accurate enough. And he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't do a lot of turnovers. I think the difference as well, if I look at, say, like an opportunity for him to do better, at times, he does improvise. And what happens at times, turnovers happen, especially as a rookie going into the league, trying to understand everything. Because I really do think Cam Ward is like, look, man, I don't want to lose. Like, I'm going to do whatever it is that I can. And Cam Ward is more athletic than Shedeur. But you ready for this take, Jacques? I don't think it's that much of a difference, bro.
I agree. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that vast of a difference. Like Cam Ward moves kind of slow. He's not a burner, right? So I think that's the perception. I'm like, so if he looked like that in college, think I was gonna look in the league, right? So Cam is susceptible to getting popped because Cam Ward, unlike Shador would take a hit standing up. Cam Ward will take a hit running. So he's got to be careful with that too, because he's not a fluid athlete. Cam Ward's kind of chunky too. So he's got to be careful with that too.
I think that's where
that answers your question, Jay Burks.
That's where that Steve McNair comparison came into play when they ran that video. He like you said, he's a chunky guy, so it's one of them things. But again, I will give both of them credit. Leadership qualities and their nervous system, man, they cold, bro. They're cold from what we got in the building now, right? So,
right.
See, Jack Ripper said, I think Ward is going to elevate the franchise. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
What up, Rodney?
What up, Rodney G? OG Rodney G. What's up? What's happening?
Jack Ripper says, Ward is naturally a leader. Men rally around him with Shador. It seems forced. He's a rich kid trying to relate, in my opinion. What you think, Hope?
I don't agree.
Right.
I've seen Shador. So Jack, I will say this. I've seen Shador throw his offensive line and players under the bus before on comments. I've seen that, right? And I didn't like that. You know what I mean? And he's like, I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like these other guys, they got to step up. I don't really think that's being a leader. You know, if you feel like that, say that behind closed doors, right? If that's how you feel, not in public, right? And I think outside of that, I think I've seen what Shador did at Jackson State as a freshman, right? He led Jackson State 2 years in a row as a freshman, sophomore, and was the conference player of the year in those years as well, too. And took Colorado, a bottom feeder, franchise, into almost to the playoffs. So he led them, you know what I mean, differently. But I think Shador is a good leader. Shador is just more in the spotlight, so he's gonna get criticized a lot more. You know what I mean? And you say he's a rich kid trying to relate. I don't know. You can be rich, poor, whatever, man. You're either a leader or you ain't. You could be poor and be a terrible leader too. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I'll add to that. When it comes to Shador, I think the big adjustment for him, and I think this hurt him a little bit. It could have elevated him, actually, if he would have took the time to play in the Shriners Bowl. That's one.
Yep.
Because you playing with different receivers, different offensive lines, and you can really prove to what you got, right? Because the whole time you've been with your father, the whole time you've had Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, all of them. Then second, the bowl game hurt him because he didn't have a good bowl game. So that was another thing that really put a stain on him. And that's why when it came down to it, I was hoping, I was praying, and I was like, man, if you can go, you can go to the Senior Bowl. I don't care where you go, but go show your talent away from your father, away from Travis Hunter, because you're not going to have him in the NFL. And I want to see what you do outside of that brass, right? And I think that's going to be the biggest question mark on him is what can you do and how coachable are you without your dad, right? Because your dad has been there. Because if he comes to the Titans, eventually Deion's going to be the head coach of the Titans. So it's inevitable, right? But what can you do when you're away from that element? Are you elevated? Do you think differently? Because Hawk, what happens if his receiver runs the wrong route and he throws an interception? Who is he blaming it on? Is he blaming it on the receiver, or is he blaming it on himself? Is he taking accountability? So I think that's one of the biggest knocks for me with him is like the unknowns. Is like, hey, what happens when you're away from your comfortability zone?
Yep, that's right. Yep, facts.
So I think that's gonna be different. And then I think it's gonna be unique for him. Which Cam, he's always been uncomfortable.
Yep. That's right. Well, we'll go two more questions, y'all.
Okay. Aero says, y'all think Shiloh get drafted or signed as an undrafted free agent? What do you think, Hawk?
I think Shiloh gets drafted.
Okay.
I think he'll be late, maybe like a 6th round pick. And I think he'll be drafted as a linebacker. And I think as well he will get drafted wherever Shador goes.
Okay.
I do. I think Shiloh gets drafted. Okay. I do. And I think Shiloh and Shador, because they've won a lot together, keep that. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll get drafted. What about you, Jacques?
I'd see 7th round. I don't think they'll keep them together. I think it's another element. It's like they've been together. They've been together so long.
Yeah,
it's kind of time for him to fly. I know he was at South Carolina before he decided to transfer and everything, but
that's right.
it's kind of time for him to make his own identity as well. So that's just me. So
Gotcha.
let's see. Oh, there we go. I think this might be the last question. Jack Ripper, he says, y'all think we target Restrepo in the drafts?
I think we should. You know, I know people gonna talk about his speed, and I get that, but you know, you don't have to be an extreme burner to be great in the league. You know what I mean? Right. So Restrepo is the all-time leading receiver in Miami history, and that's unbelievable when you think of the receivers like Santana Moss, Andre Johnson. I just keep Devin Hester. I mean, I just keep going. All the receivers that have come through Miami, right? Yeah. So I think it depends on when. I'm not sitting there telling you second or even third. You know what I mean? We don't have a third round, but if he's available, maybe I would put it like this. I'm kind of maybe, I don't know, because we got needs, man. He definitely wouldn't be my first receiver in the pick in the draft, in our draft. He'd be number 2. You know what I mean? Like if we happen to just pick a receiver, just to pick one later in the draft, if he's available, yeah, I'd be fine with it. But he wouldn't be my top target as a receiver. Absolutely not. But eventually, yeah, if he's available, maybe 5th round if he's available. So what about you, Jacques?
So I think that 40 time actually hurt him a little bit. So I think he will be available in the 5th, the 4th round, maybe even the 6th round. That's probably because, I mean, teams look at that. Yeah. But if you want to cut the tape on and you want to keep him with his quarterback, like you said, that's what Cam Ward does. He elevates his talent around him. Again, every game I watch with Miami, they go Restrepo. Restrepo.
That's right.
Go Restrepo. Or Martinez. Restrepo. Right. Restrepo. You're like, man, this kid is solid. And again, you don't have to be a burner in order to do it. So I think if he's there, we got 2 4th round picks. If you want to use one or a 5th round pick, you want to double up on receiver, do it. Right? Yeah. Why not? If you don't get one in the second, or if you don't get one in the second round, hell, double up in the 4th round. You got 2 4th round picks. Or if he's there in the 5th round, get him. Why not? Because
that's right.
Just plug and play him. So
that's right. So, well, folks, we want to say thank you all for joining us for the live chop up. Great, incredible questions as always. Right? It keeps the show rocking, bro. Like for real, because we don't know what questions could be had, but we got answers for all of them. You know what I mean? And not just for the Titans, for any team, anything NFL. We got answers for everything. You know what I mean? So listen. If you have not followed us yet here on YouTube, shame on you. Follow us today, man, on Instagram, YouTube. Follow us on Bleacher Report as well. Bleacher Report, you can follow me at Lorenzo_the_Hawk. You can follow Jacques as well at Jacques Merrill. Download Bleacher Report on your phone. Follow the Tennessee Titans. We have shows every single week on Bleacher Report. So we out here on Apple, Spotify, on TikTok, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Everywhere around. We appreciate everybody joining the show.
And when you do follow those platforms, please cut your notification bells on. They'll definitely let you know when we go live or post any content or anything like that, so y'all can keep up with us. If you're new to the show, like you said, please subscribe also. And people probably watching the show, but subscribe. But anyway, the draft is coming up in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
So we will have our annual, and if you're new to the show,
that's right.
We have our annual draft show, and I'm gonna give a quick just flowers to both of us. Each year we've done this annual draft show. Hawk has hit on one pick. I've hit on one pick. So if you're new to the show, please come watch that particular show, because you're gonna get a bunch of insight on what we're thinking, and the picks that we pick, we actually might hit on. So y'all just be aware, be patient. Yeah, we got crystal balls over here, and you'll see. But anyway, Hawk, hey, Weekly family, thank y'all for participating. We appreciate y'all watching the show, man. If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. And again, Hawk, take us home.
Yes,
I know we got one more question. We're gonna have to take us home, Hawk.
Okay, yes, sir. All right. Well, listen, we also have a show tomorrow on Bleacher Report. So check us out on Bleacher Report. If you are unable to watch us on Bleacher Report, it will be posted on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So check us out as well. We're going to talk more about Cam Ward, the draft, and where we headed next, when the draft happens, where we headed. So as we always say, and as we always do, folks, facts,
no paper.
Tennessee Titans Weekly, we carry the rock of being the best podcast with Hawk and Jock. We cover the Titans early in the morning or later with everything you need, spitting facts, no paper. From the Music City, born and raised, we reppin'. The city and the state of Tennessee, we steppin'. Our fans enjoy, they say they'll enlighten us. Let's go Titans fans and tighten up. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We're here to be the best and never last. Hawk and Jock, what's the plot? To make the Super Bowl, or can we win or not? Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We give you news and perspectives and do it fast. When you see our shows, tell us what's up. Let's get this win and go home and tighten up. We are the best in the game and it shows. Let's go Tennessee Titans, let's win some more. Nashville is our home, but Tennessee is our state. Let's beat every team down, said Hut. Break Tennessee Titans Weekly, we carry the rock of being the best podcast with Hawk and Jock. We cover the Titans early in the morning or later, with everything you need, spitting facts, no paper. From the Music City, born and raised, we reppin'. The city and the state of Tennessee, we steppin'. Our fans enjoy, they say they'll enlighten us. Let's go Titans fans and tighten up. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We're here to be the best and never last. Hawk and Jock, what's the plot? To make the Super Bowl, or can we win or not? Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. Giving news and perspectives and do it fast. When you see our shows, tell us what's up. Let's get this win and go home and tighten up.